Hi there, students. Verisimilitude. Verisimilitude. I keep saying this wrong. Okay, it's a noun, and you can also have an adjective, very similar. Okay? Verisimilitude means something that looks like it's real. The quality of seeming true or being the real thing. So the pictures in the storybook gave verisimilitude to the story. It made it more real and more realistic. The description had a verisimilitude that was quite amazing. Yeah. So if an author limns something very well, then there is very high verisimilitude. Yeah, it's very similar. It's very similar. Okay, so very similar is the adjective, is having the appearance that something is real, depicting realism. So, I don't know, you probably know these super realist pictures. I'm quite a fan of super realism. And these are very similar pictures, yeah? They seek verisimilitude. They look like they're live and they're the real thing. And that's the idea of verisimilitude, yeah? The quality of looking very real. It appears something that either appears very true or very real. He made an excuse that he'd fallen over, but before he did that, he cut his knees a bit to add verisimilitude to his story. He said that he had twisted his ankle, even though it wasn't true, but he put on a limp to add verisimilitude to his story, to make it seem real. Yeah? A statement that is very similar or has verisimility is one that seems to be true, yeah, but you're not absolutely sure. It's just an assertion that looks like it's true, but there's no actual point, no actual proof that it is. Computer animation has more and more verisimilitude to real life, and I believe nowadays they can actually use computer generated images to look as if they're real. Yeah. Computer games, what the verisimilitude of computer games is an important thing. So the realism, the authenticity, the credibility, the resemblance, the semblance, the believability, the credibility thereof, okay? The plausibility as well. And this is the idea of verisimilitude. So the property of being true, of resembling reality. It has a resemblance to reality. His pictures or his paintings of animals have such verisimilitude that they look real. This is realism. His excuse certainly has verisimilitude. It seems like it's true. It appears to be true. You can also use this word verisimilitude to talk about books, fiction. Let's see, for example, science fiction, space opera. Very often they create a world and there are certain rules in that world, yeah, certain laws of physics or certain inventions. And verisimilitude is following those conventions during the whole book or the whole series. It's some sort of internal cohesion. Yeah, so it seems true, if you measure it by the rules that have been set up to start with. Okay, so yeah, the verisimilitude of things depends on how realistic they look. Yeah, how ways to give things verisimilitude. Yeah, to paint them so that they have real colors, or to put pictures on them, or things like that. Okay, so there you go. Yes, I haven't done the formality or the origin. Verisimilitude, how formal is this? Poof, an 8. 8 in formality. I think I would use this in a formal writing. I think you could just about use it in a semi-formal writing. Do not use it in an informal conversation. Lifelike, real, realistic, realism. Those are the sorts of words you want to be using. And very similar, exactly the same. Okay, and then as to origin, okay, it comes from Latin through French again. Verisimilitudio. Veri, verus, true, and similitudio, likeness, resemblance. So, a resemblance or a likeness to the truth. It's clear the origin. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Verisimilitude. Very similar.